And welcome back to the Radio Horror YouTube channel with another in-depth review from the blonde in front of fear, Cati Glidewell, with The Curse of La Llorona.
Hello, hello, boils and ghouls. Blonde in front of fear here to talk to you about The Curse of La Llorona, directed by Michael Chavez and starring Linda Cardellini, Raymond Cruz, and Patricia Velasquez. The Curse of La Llorona is the folklore tale of Mexico that starts out where the folklore begins. The film's opened in Mexico in 1673 with a mother who was crying, beautiful woman crying. Her little boys see what's going on. Next thing you know, she's drowning one son at the river. The other son runs away, and yet he's meeting his demise also. It then shoots straight to Los Angeles in 1973, where you have Anna, played by Linda Cardellini, a recently widowed mother of two who is a social worker who is sent to investigate two boys' truancy from school. And when she arrives, what she believes is a mother endangering her sons turns out to be a mother trying to protect her sons. And that mother is portrayed by Patricia Velasquez. If anyone knows who Patricia Velasquez is, I do have to say this is one of her best acting roles to date. She is completely unrecognizable in this role. I knew who she was in the credits, and it actually took me a good 5 to 7 minutes until I realized who she was, so that says a lot. The movie goes on where the lead actress, Anna, Linda Cardellini, has no clue what The Curse of La Llorona is, and as she finds out more about it, so does the audience. Almost to a fault, really, because, they really over-explain The Curse of La Llorona. Now, I will say, I did not think this was necessarily a bad movie. I didn't think it was like anything that's going to, make the top 10 of horror for the year. It had some extremely effective scares, like seeing it in the theater. It had a great crowd reaction. The long shots in the house, which are very, Blumhouse style, are spectacular. The score was great. And, it's nice to see a movie that tells a tale about a culture that I was not aware of. Not the culture that I'm not aware of, but the tale I'm not aware of. And there's also very different angles of this film that, like with La Llorona. It's in this case, she was a beautiful woman who a handsome man came to the town. They got married. They had two sons. He ditched her for a younger woman. And in a fit of despair, she killed her two sons. So basically a Mexican Medea. What I would say is it just would have been great if she would have gotten her own young boy toy and thrown it in his face. But instead she went a completely different turn. Ladies, I would say go my way. What this film does do is definitely let you know that it is in the Conjuring Universe. There's a priest, played Father Perez, who is played by Tony Amendola, who is very familiar and is in the Conjuring Universe. One thing I liked about this, it is definitely, I wish I was living in 1970s LA, because dang, the real estate that you can get on a cop who has passed away in a social worker's budget. That is a big house with a pool.
Yeah.
Nicely done, LA real estate. You don't see that anymore. But there's also the very frustrating things, like when someone walks into a room and says, "Is someone in here?" when you know something nefarious is going on. I would love it if a film somewhere, listen out, screenwriters, filmmakers everywhere, if you're going to do something stupid like that, if you know that the person is scared and someone says, "Is someone in here?" I would love it if the killer or whatever it is, actually, it was like a hide and seek thing, and they came out and said, "Yeah, you caught me. It's me. I'm going to go. Thanks for asking. I should have been more, more sneaky." because that would at least be something new. To
Or
ask a stupid question like that when you go into a room that you definitely know someone is in there and you ask someone is in there is very frustrating. And there was a bunch of groans from the audience. Also the same when a child does something very dumb, when you know they're not necessarily a dumb child, like, oh, there's a barrier that's going to keep this ghost out. You know what? Why don't you go for that toy that's beyond the barrier that will probably let the ghost in? That's a smart move. Now, besides me complaining about that, I dug this film. I mean, I don't know if I would say I dug it, but I didn't dislike it. I mean, I like the 70s vibe. I like the diversity of the cast. I like that you had a tale that isn't typically seen in a big budget, especially Blumhouse, nationwide screens. And I would like to see more of that. What I would definitely change about it, though, is like maybe make the story not as cookie cutter or like typical as you would normally see. I mean, this isn't going to be breaking any rules of the, horror genre. And I also wish they wouldn't have shown La Llorona as much. When they did, it was great. I think she's going to make a fantastic cosplay costume for people, but they kind of went overboard and they should have kept that to a T. Do I say go see this? Yeah, I would say check it out. I mean, if it's not in the theater, I think it'll be a great home video watch. But yeah, I give it cheers for fear and let me know what you think. How about you, Dr. Chris?
when she became human again very briefly, I did
Like,
yeah, I did one of those really loud in the quiet theater, and everyone erupted into laughter.
nice.
Everybody erupted into laughter when I did a woohoo, like you just did, which I can't do right now, which sucks. I don't know why. I need a drink of water. But just a quick point out before we go, what was the cartoon series that her daughter was watching on the TV when she came home from work?
That was Scooby-Doo that Linda Cardellini was Velma in the live action version.
Linda Cardellini is the either the best mom ever or the worst mom ever or the deadest mom ever. As we see her in 2 productions this month of April, she tries to save her children from the woman, the lady in white, from killing her kids, and then of course herself gets dusted out of oblivion by Thanos in the Avengers Endgame.
Yes, which spoiler to that, but yeah,
oh come on, you knew that from the trailer. You saw Hawkeye getting all roded okay.
One of the things about La Llorona that I have noticed when I've talked to different people, how there are different stories of it is definitely a folktale that kids are told everywhere in Mexico. There's different stories of it and stuff, but I think the key is stay away from water or La Llorona is going to get you.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
If you're
Katie?
I think that's a good way to do it. But with this version, the whole Medea thing, her husband left her for a younger woman. She kills her kids because she's so upset. It's well, that doesn't come on, girl, go get your own thing. You're supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the village and you still look great and you've got 2 handsome boys. Girl power, woman up. You can do this. But that's the way they want to do it. I get it. Fine.
Check out the rest of the videos here on the Radio Horror YouTube channel, and please like, subscribe, and comment, and stay tuned for our next review with The Blonde in Front of Fear.